Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wahara Kakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Many blessings and salutations into the hopeful elect, the house of David, that by after our die, for whom these epistles are written for in these last days. Shalom to the elect. It's going to be a really, really quick lesson. So I pray this is edifying for those of you that have the eyes salve and the ears to hear. All right, so this is going into the brain-computer interface. Okay, they're testing it out and making sure, because they're gonna try to escape. Talking about the elite, they're gonna try to escape. The judgment of Yahweh Bashim Shai, and we already know that's impossible. But they're gonna try it anyway because the Lord is hardening their heart. All right, so let me go into this experiment they tried on some I guess I don't know astronauts. I don't know what they call them, but you know they're trying to link human body to the to a computer, man. Okay, and this is transhumanism, and they're trying to test the limits of it in space. Okay, so just bear with me. I'm gonna read through this article, get a couple precepts. It's not gonna be a super long lesson, but you already know what we're gonna hit on. We're gonna hit on the key points. The understanding, the overall understanding of what this truly is, right? So this is from TVP World. It says space station tests prove viability of Polish brain computer interface. So they're linking it to space. Look, man, when we say he will cause everyone, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and their forehead, we literally mean everyone. This right here is also a cut on those guys talking about both small countries and big countries. It's a cut because they're actually testing on people in space. Okay, people, not countries. Which, although this guy represents our country, but he is a person who is trying to link or prove that it's viability of transhumanism in space. And we keep telling you that Esau Edom is the devil in the Bible that we speak of. Okay, he is the devil. Okay, it says experiments conducted aboard the International Space Station last summer by Polish astronaut. I'm not going to try to pronounce that guy's name. Wisniewski. That's the one. Stawos. Wisniewski. Yeah, you probably small. He sound like a tiny top. It says demonstrated the viability of a Polish technology linking human brain directly to a computer. Look, he got joy in his eyes. He's like, yes, the elite are gonna love me. It says the research involved the Polish astronaut and another crew member from the AX-4 mission, moving an image on computer screen solely through thought and intention. And look, and what is that going into? Okay, this devil is funny. He's trying to show you or demonstrate to you the power of the mind through the microchip. Okay, because what goes into computers? Microchips. What is he trying to prove here? The human body can become a what? A computer. And what goes into a computer? Microchips. Anyway, it says the test also, what do you put on a microchip? A program. So you're putting a programmable microchip inside of a human body. Let's see how it works. Okay, it says the test also sought to verify whether the propriety brain-computer interface technology of Polish neurotechnology company Cordovision could work in low-gravity environments. It says the functional near infrared okay. The functional near infrared spectroscopy spectroscopy. Let me say this again. The functional near infrared spectroscopy system works by emitting infrared light waves towards the brain to measure oxygen levels in the blood flowing through its various areas, with sensors highlighting sections and exhibiting high neural activity. Out of this world results. It says the CEO of Quartervision said the test had not only been successful, but had demonstrated effectiveness of over 80% despite space-induced psychological changes in the human body. Dr. Darius Zappala added that the astronaut's brain had sent even stronger signals than under earthbound conditions. So the elite, in desperation of trying to escape out of the grasp of Yahweh Shemal Shah, which, again, a dubious task indeed, right? Which will never happen, but they're going to still try it anyway. They want to be able to take their slaves with them, and in order for you to be a slave to the elite, you got to take that chip. There's no way around that. You have to take the chip. Okay, you have to be under some kind of control so that they, can threaten you. Okay, hey, look, I just turned your chip off, and you're done. Okay, and they know that, but these people still go for it because they want money and success. Anyway, it says the space station tests were a first for the company and a significant milestone for the technology. Dr. Zappala added, "We are currently the only company in the world which can boast such a flight heritage." It says he was quoted by a Polish state news agency, PAP, as saying, "Dr. Zappala said the prototype system could one day be used to improve safety for people working in remote and hazardous environments such as divers and polar explorers." Yes, polar explorers. Yes, it's exactly what they're trying to do. Okay, I'm bullshitting you, but that's exactly what they're trying to do. Okay, because they want total and immediate power. Okay, and separated from Yahweh Shemal Shah. And what are they going to do? They're going to provide it as something that's going to be safe for everyone. Okay, this is First Maccabees 1:41. Moreover, King Antiochus, and remember, the Greeks and the Romans were Edomites. Those are two Edomite-ran country or empires. Okay, and their ideas about ruling the world were not that different. Right here, it proves it. First Maccabees 1:41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. So he's going to present it as something that's going to be safe for the entire humanity, right? All of humanity. That's what he proves it. That's what he's trying to prove with his lying words. It says, "And everyone should leave his laws, and all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king." So they're gonna, as the king goes, so goes his servants. Okay, the heathen were on board. That goes back into Psalms 83. Okay, and they want total control. They believe that if the Israelites come back into power, that's their doom, which it is. So I understand, but nonetheless, you got to be stopped. Okay, it says, verse 43, and this is where you sell out Israelites. All of you that are in Hollywood or, in these diverse places where you have fleets of power, all right, or somewhat of power over certain people, except the elite. I mean, the elite of the world, of this world. Okay, they try to exercise it. Okay, because the elite granted them certain, provisions. Okay, verse 43, it says, "Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath." That's right. So there are many Israelites that are going to take this chip, man. Many of them, 2/3 in America to be more exact, and across the world. Those are the rebels that we're gonna have to do away with if I'm of that number. Cause you're gonna take that chip and you're gonna think that you're invincible, and you're not. You're stupid. You only bought a certain amount of time. Okay. It says, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols, and prefer it's like and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers, which is his media today. Just like that article we read, that's a part of his messengers. He's letting it be known through the medium, which is his media, to let the rest of the people know that it's safe. Okay? It says, for the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the law, follow the strange laws of the land. And one way that they do that through their messages is they hire these pulpit preachers, okay, these preachers that run these various churches, whether it be the Catholicism, okay, Islam, and it's different, different strands through Islam, all right, whether it be the fruit of Islam or whatever, but Islam as together, all together, okay, Christianity, and Pentecost, all that shit, okay, the Church of Christ, the Mormons, all the things that follow under the Christian mindset, they're all going to sacrifice unto idols, which they already are anyway, okay. So this touches every main religion in the world, and who leads a lot of these religions for the most part? The Israelites. The most devout Christians are Israelites, man. Okay, I'm talking about not the ones that know that they're Israelites. I'm talking the ones who call themselves Americans or Polish or whatever the fuck they call themselves, but. Those are usually the most devoted to that particular strand of religion. Okay, Islam. You got the fruit of Islam. That's Jake. Israelites. The Israelites are the main ones ruling that. I mean, or devoted to it. Christianity, Catholicism. Catholicism is one that was pushed really heavy on the Northern Kingdom, which is the Latinos and Native Americans. They truly believe in that fucking Catholicism shit, So they're going to all consent under the religion of Edom, Esau. That's what this is. Esau is their God. Whether they acknowledge that or not, this is the truth. And the Bible speaks of that. Okay, it says, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. So they're going to hear this news from this particular articles or others, and they're going to say, this sounds like good news. Okay? For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, all right, that they should follow the strange laws of the land and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and feast and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. And you see why you are the target. You're the target audience that Esau wants, because he understands you have the blessing. He understands his enemy. Okay? Why do we say this? Because he's a what? He's a... Let's go to Genesis. Okay? Because you gotta to understand Esau is to understand how he sees his enemies and how he plans around them. I grew up, I told your brother during the last camp we did, I grew up one of the biggest Batman fans because the way he uses his intellect. I always thought that was fucking cool. Superman's cool because he's, big and powerful and strong, but he didn't do anything to get that, okay? But Batman was my dude because this guy, he got everything out of the mud, so to speak. he was still a rich kid, but he earned, all right, that info because his superpower was information. Now that I'm grown and have to pay bills, okay, like the rest of us, and I'm in this truth for as long as I've been, that the Lord has allowed me to be. Hey, I see Batman totally different. I think he's the fucking villain. He's the goddamn villain. The Joker is the hero. Batman's the fucking villain, man. Okay. If you understand, you understand. This is Genesis 25 and 25. It says, and the first came out red. Let me start 20. Let's start at 21. This is Genesis 25 and 21. And this is just going to describe a characteristic of Esau, okay, as to how he gets into these type of experiments and things of that nature. Because he's a very, 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 very wicked person, okay? The Lord created this person to be wicked as he's doing, okay? This is Genesis 25 and 21. It says, and Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife because she was barren, right? So she couldn't have children. But the Lord, the Lord can make anything happen, okay? You can be 55 years old as a woman, and if the Lord wants you to get pregnant by someone, you'll get pregnant, okay? It says, because she was barren, and the Lord Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. So she was an older woman, but he still worked. You know, the Lord works, man. Okay. So you got to be you got to be a believer for real. All right. It says, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord Yahweh. So she went to the prophet. Okay. She went to the prophets, and they told her what the Lord's message was for her. And the Lord Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. That's pretty straightforward. So who came out first? Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered, so like it, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Because of the characteristics, his blood showed forth through his skin. He has a translucent skin, okay? Veins, all that shit shows through his skin. So who does that sound like? Also, it said the first will serve the younger. That's very, very specific. Esau read that and he got fucking pissed because he never had a chance. That's how he looks at it. I never even had a chance. That's why he hates the Most High. He absolutely hates the Most High. Okay, I was listening to his radio show the other day, and he was like, one of the hosts said that his aunt used to be a nun. Now she's an atheist because she's a fucking Edomite, probably a tiny top at that, but she's a fucking Edomite. They hate the Most High, okay? And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, which that's spiritual, if you picking up, okay? I'm reading this so you get very good context as to who we're dealing with here, okay? And how the prophecy plays out. So Jacob, which represents the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and Israelite foreigners who may look like one of the other nations, okay? We come from that bloodline of Jacob who held the foot of Esau, representing pulling him down out of power, okay? And the one's going to be the main one is going to be Yahushua. He's the top. He's the one that's going to pull Esau out of power. It says Jacob. It says, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew together, It's like, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. He's a cunning hunter, man. This is what I wanted to bring out. He's very, very cunning. He's swift, okay? This devil will go out in nature and he will dress up in camouflage and pour nothing but deer piss on him, okay, to represent some type of scent that the male deer want. You know, the male deer, the bucks, they come out and they smell that deer, okay, and they you know, they probably horny, okay, and they want to, you know, see what's going on. And Esau's a cunning hunter, and he will get them just that, like that. You represent the buck. That's why in slavery they called you bucks, so-called black people or men, right? They have fetish websites for things like that, where the so-called white woman refers to the black man as bucks, okay? So they throw that trap out there so they can catch you. It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. Right, he loves nature. You go to you go on one of these dating websites, and you look up a Edomite woman's preference. It's been in the news, like Sydney Sweeney, right? Sydney Sweeney says she likes to go skydiving, and she likes to be in nature and be in the field. Let's read that again. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. So if she likes being in the field, does that mean that Jacob doesn't like to, go out in nature? No, that doesn't mean that. But Esau really takes that shit to the next level. Okay? Esau really, really loves nature. He loves being out and the thrill of the kill, you know. All right, go out and do crazy shit like skydiving. Okay, I'm not saying that Jakes don't do that shit. I'm just saying Esau is the leader of the pack. That's all I'm saying. If you understand what I'm saying. Okay, it says, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So does that mean? And look, Jake don't need much. Okay, all Jake need, talking about the Israelites. And you Israelites, you understand what I'm saying? We don't need much, man. You give me a nice bottle of, of wine, some strong wine, some good food, and a woman to love on, I'm good. I don't need much else. Esau, he thinks that's boring. Let's go skydiving. Let's go out and hunt for bucks. In this case, you are the buck. Because when they bring you stories like this, they're telling you without telling you what their intentions are. And they're looking for you to get caught up in their net. Let's go to another scripture, okay? I just wanted to bring that out because Esau is a cunning hunter, and he's looking to draw you into his net, okay? This is Psalms 10:1. It says, why standest thou afar, O Lord Yahweh? Why hidest thyself in times of trouble? Which that's going to be during the time of Jacob's trouble. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken into the devices that they have imagined. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to put their devices inside of you. They imagine destroying all of Israel. Okay, it says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous. All right, and the covetous of the Israelites. That goes back in First Maccabees. All right, the Israelites who also consented onto this religion. Okay, because they're the covetous. They want what Esau has, and that's not outlined in the blessing for Jacob and Esau. Or for Esau it is, but not for Jacob, okay? The blessing that Esau has right now is the blessing of ruling the entire earth, the fatness of the earth, all right, down to the resources, and the dew of heaven, which is the International Space Station. So he rules this world right now. This blessing is not for Jacob, but they're covetous of it, so they'll do whatever they have to do to try to get part of it, which is dumb. Because our blessing comes after this world falls, not during, after. What does that mean? This world must be destroyed. Not the earth. The earth is still going to be here. The world that encompasses the earth, meaning Esau and his rulership. Okay, it says the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. He don't care. It says his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Right. Like Stephen Miller got up on that stage and talking shit. They don't own anything. We own everything. He's a tiny top, by the way. It says, he have said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. That's pride. That's a proud devil. He wants to entrap you in his nets using what? The laws. Okay? He's a proud devil, and he thinks that he's going to get away with this. This is Isaiah 10:1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. That's right. So they will decree unrighteous decrees, and this is going to be a grievous sore. Meaning, if you take that chip, it's going to be sore unto you. It's going to be destruction. Okay? If you take the chip, you will be destroyed. To all Israelites that are listening right now, if you take the chip, the Lord is going to destroy you and possibly all of those around you too. Okay? Verse 2, it says, to turn aside the needy from judgment. Now, this is the cunning hunter in Esau. I read that in Genesis so you understand who you're dealing with. He's a very, very cunning hunter. He knows your weaknesses. He knows what draws you in, Israel. He knows what you like. If you're a so-called black man, he knows that you like a woman with a fat ass. He knows this. He knows for you women that you love, some women, a lot of women, let's keep it real. He knows that you seek security. So he sets up laws, okay, that benefits, that looks like it benefits you, but really is your detriment, okay? Let me explain. He sets up a law like marriage. And the marriage in this world is wicked as fuck. Okay, because you marry a woman in today's society, it's almost a dummy move. Because even if you don't have any money as a man, it doesn't matter. You still, the laws are set up to screw you over. Okay, let's just say you're a man and you come into a marriage and you have a substantial amount of money or wealth, and a woman has barely any. She takes half of your shit most of the time. Okay, it's a trap. Okay, he's a cunning hunter, and those are some characteristics that some women may prefer. They want a cunning type of dude that trick them, you know. Anyway, it says to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor, for the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, right? It says, and that they may rob the fatherless. Notice how he talks about the widows. He's talking about the women. He attacks them if he gets the man out of the house, right? Ding, ding, ding. Okay? And he robs the fatherless, which are the children that come up in that very same system. And he takes them for everything they got. And they have no rights because they won't know. They wouldn't know because the father was not in the home. On a grander scale, Yahweh allowed this to happen, all right, so that we would fall away from our law, statutes, commandments for a time, until the right time was for us to return. Talking about the elect, it says, and what will you do in the day of visitation, in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help, and where will ye leave your glory? So Esau's trying to escape. He's trying to escape these judgments, but he's trying to blame Israel at the same time. It's just not working. Okay? We're going to get one last scripture. It's just going to prove that he's going to try to present it as something that's good for humanity. Okay? And the Israelites that know what's going on, you know what's going on. Okay, let me go to Revelation real quick and just grab that. Okay, because Esau is doing all of these great miracles, or what's considered miracles, in your face, while also telling you, without telling you, you're not reading the small print. Okay, that this is going to cost you your life. Okay, if you believe in this shit. Revelation 13 and 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, which that word killed means separated. You're going to be separated from this system, but also you will be under threat of, deletion. Okay? It's going to make it easier to justify doing that because you're not a part of the system. So therefore you have something to hide. Remember, Genesis 25 and 21 through 25. He's a cunning hunter. He knows his enemies very well. Okay? He knows your sleep pattern. He has something set up in the internet called algorithms. He knows how to read patterns concerning you, man. This is a very, very cunning hunter. The Lord said that he's going to be wiser than Daniel, man. And there weren't many that were wiser than Daniel. Okay? It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. You have to wonder to yourself, how is he going to pull that off? How is everyone going to accept this new system of payment, right? A form of being able to how's everybody going to accept this? Well, the answer is in this first Thessalonians. Well, there's many different answers, but one of the biggest answers in the beginning is 1 Thessalonians 5, okay? This first Thessalonians 5 and 1, it says, but of the times of the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you, right? Because you are watching. Those of you that are watching videos like this, and whether you look like an Israelite or not, or, because there's some so-called white people that watch a lot of these videos, and they may think, how do I put this? And I say so-called white people, because their skin complexion is being used as something that is more powerful than everybody else in the world. So I'm using them as an example, even though I could be talking about a so-called Chinese person, a so-called Japanese person, a so-called East Indian person. They may present to you in flesh as one of those other nations, but their spirit still goes back to one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Does that make sense? Okay, they're going to present or may look like someone of another nation, but they might not necessarily be of that nation. Okay, we give many examples all the time. Also, on the flip side, there's so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that may present as an Israelite. If you think they might be an Israelite, I always give the example of T and Tamara Maori. Those are Edomites, tiny tops. Okay, because it is of your father's lineage. I did a video on that. It's of your father's lineage. Okay, that goes into Numbers 1 and 18. It's not. Your mother has no concern in the matter of who you are as a nation. Your mother has characteristics. You have characteristics of what you might look like of your mother, but your father is what determines your nation, not your mother. Okay, your mother is the incubator. Anyway, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1, it says, but of the times and of the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, so cometh as a thief in the night. And here's the point. Verse 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, and this is what they were saying in the article, we want to be able to help the entire world. If you're divers and you're going out and you're special, or you're the police or someone, if you get lost, and we'll be able to track you. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. That's right. So if you take this chip, this destruction is going to come swiftly. It may not come the day after, or it may do. I don't know. But let's just say the destruction is going to come. And you have to live with that thought in the back of your mind. That's insane. Just get me out. Send me to the spirit world, if that's what it comes to. I'm not, Lord willing, Adawan Ratazah. Living with that chip inside of you, knowing that the Lord's going to destroy you, is a whole nother life. You're a different type of person. Okay? It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape, and you will not escape. That's why we keep telling you, if you take that chip, you're going to be destroyed. Okay? Not if, when. Okay? This is Revelation 14:9. It says, and the third angel, which third 3 represents understanding. Okay, so understand that the Lord was going to destroy you. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive, that's the key word, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, which is the brain computer interface, the microchip, whatever you want to call it. It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, which is the intercontinental ballistic missiles. It says, in the presence of the holy angels, which is the elect, and in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahushua. And that's a promise. Okay? Verse 11, it says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. The Lord made a very big distinction there. Okay? Not only did you worship the beast, not only did you worship his image, which is his society. That's what the image represents, his society, running the way he makes his laws. Okay, the Roman Empire. You worship the Roman Empire through America. Okay? You love the ways of Esau. But not only did you love the ways of Esau, that's why we always say guys like Anton Daniels, okay? These guys who love America so much, that nigga's gonna take the chip. And not only that, he's gonna tell the rest of his family to take the chip too. Because he gotta have that money. Because you can't be 5'4" and in America and think that you finna get some vagina. No. And be broke. No. You need money. Okay? So in order to get that money, you gotta take that chip, homeboy, and he's gonna take that chip. If he ain't of the elect. Okay? Anyway, I pray that this was edifying for those of you that have the eye salve ears and ears to hear. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shema Shah. Ba'ashem Hawakar Kadash. Shalom to the elect.